All right, guys and ladies and gentlemen, one and all. We're live again, even on a Sunday. That was the most intense kind of amount of live sessions I've had. I've had like 4 or 5, I lost count. But I definitely learned a lot. What I learned today is that I gotta make sure I have some like automated script that like sends an email or even an SMS or something like that every time. Because unfortunately, I didn't hear back from Maayan. I did check with her that supposedly it was okay to do it on a Sunday, but not hearing back from her. So who knows? Maybe she's relaxing, which I think is all right. So what I decided to do for this session is what I've done for other sessions, which is actually quite fun, is that you can easily join this live stream since it's Sunday. I can I'm gonna send you a link which you have in here. So you have it on YouTube, on Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. So you can easily join, and then so we can be like basically it's turning into an AMA Ask Me Anything. I'm also basically gonna check if it's if I make changes now. I'm basically testing again StreamYard. And by the way, I actually was considering StreamYard versus Restream. I did like Restream from the outside, from how they already from the get-go allowed to stream to a lot more networks. Unfortunately, it didn't work out well with LinkedIn and their support. Even though they tried to help, I just couldn't get it to work. So I basically have done this last few lives on StreamYard. Has worked out pretty well so far. Now I'm gonna try to do this is something new, which is I'm gonna try to change the title of the live stream while I'm here. Join via da-da-da. Okay, and let's see if it actually updates it while I'm already live on the different platforms. And to be honest, if nobody joins, I'm gonna be around for a little bit. After that thing, I'm gonna go back to read Product-Led Growth, which was a really cool book that I've been reading, and I interviewed the author on Friday, Wes Bush. Really amazing guy, really amazing book. Basically, he gave me the okay to go and make kind of a shorter version of the book in a PowerPoint kind of format. I think also what I want to share with all of you guys right now is basically what we've been working with, and recently, what we've been launching recently. So I'd love to have your feedback on this, which you might have seen is shared out view. So I've really been getting in the SaaS space, and this is our latest creation. So basically, it's a tool to be able to share your docs with just links, so you can get analytics and leads. So basically, who viewed which docs, when, and for how long. Here's a sample document. Actually, to check if I already updated with the latest one or not. Initially, I just put a manual, but actually I realized that it's a lot better to put, I need to update this. We're gonna put a list of 12 benefits, why using this it's important. So you just sign up with LinkedIn or Google, upload a document, share the links, and done. And basically you get analytics. Actually, we're gonna move this to the front. You don't need to install anything, it's all in the cloud. And then you can also update your documents straight from the cloud, right? So if you just send the wrong PDF, or upload the wrong PDF, or you made some changes, you can do it from the cloud. What else? You also basically, Google Drives and Dropbox, they're all like kind of full of all sorts of files. With Share Doc View, what you do is that you only have the files that your team can share, so that there's no lack of clarity in terms of what can be shared and what cannot be shared. Hey, Brenda, and thanks for writing. I was just checking the comments right now. I'm supposed to book your calendar for a proper. I'm actually gonna text you this. I'm supposed to book your calendar for a proper live. But to be honest, if you want to join here just to say hi, if you're free, feel free to join. So I'm just gonna text Brenda. She's really cool, Brenda Meller. I saw her because she did some really cool posts. Finding her. She did some really cool posts where she was basically analyzing the growth of different LinkedIn influencers. And so I thought that was cool. I reached out and I was supposed to book a live. I'm supposed to do it actually. I'm gonna do it basically after this. Going back to share doc view. By the way, I need to connect this or I won't hear the ring from if anyone joins. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll finally hear somebody joins. So again, you can join at the link. Oh, there you go. Oh, Maayan is joining. That's crazy. In case, no worries. So that's cool. And actually, I'm gonna. Meanwhile, I was able to check. I'm gonna check if it actually did update this for other networks or not. Actually, so for LinkedIn, it was not updated while the live was already launched. I'm still very happy to have Maayan. We're going to talk about Tik-Tok. It's been one of the topics that I've been meaning to study for a long time, and I've not been able to study. So I'm really happy to do it. Anyways, most important about ShareDoc View is that we have some really good early adopter plan. So you can actually start for free forever, and then like the lowest plan, it says $5, which is, there's competitors that charge you $65 for what we're giving out here. So just FYI, this is like a really, really good deal, which I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep it for long. And yeah, I'm super excited that Maayan is joining because, like I said, I've really been trying to get into Tik-Tok for a while, and it's not been easy, to be honest. I'm gonna open it up again, and I was just checking if, okay, looks like obviously it does update it on what do you call it, on Facebook. It was updated, so now that Maayan comes back, I can update it once again. We're so live. It's like that it changes, stuff changes like every second. It's like we gotta respond quickly to change. And it's funny how at first, I was super concerned about like, oh my god, what happened? There you go, Maayan is joined. Amazing, Maayan. I'm gonna get you into the stream right away.
Awesome.
Hello.
Sorry for being late there.
No problem at all. I was just saying and thinking out loud how I've already done lives that I'm way past beyond the point. Like, what if somebody doesn't join? I'm like, oh, I don't care. Like, I just go to the edit and I start talking about what I'm doing right now because there's always a lot of stuff going. And basically, I was opening it up for other people to join in case. Last time, random people joined from India, and it was basically like me giving them free advice on how to sell their website creation services, which I thought was really cool because I traveled to India, without actually going there. Of course, these days we can't even travel. But I'm super, super excited that you made it, and that's because TikTok has now been the second app that has made me feel super old. I'm turning 36 next week. The first app that made me feel old was Snapchat, because I was at that point, I'm pretty sure I was in California, in San Diego, and I was just like, I don't get it. And while I was saying I don't get it, I remember like when older people were saying I don't get like Facebook or Instagram. I was like, oh, I'm old, TikTok is a second app about that. So I have a lot of questions, but something about me, like I mentioned in some other lives, is that I'm helping out a group of different influencers, mostly female professionals, helping out about 20 influencers that go from 100K to 2.3 million. They have in total 10.5 million. So some of them have 300, 700, 1 million followers on TikTok. So they are kind of like, happy to make those intros. I definitely want to first, let you introduce yourself. And again, sorry if I speak a lot.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great. I also speak a lot, so it's good to have that. Otherwise, I'm
Italian American. The Italian side speaks a lot. So thank you so much for coming, and excited to have you here. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's talk about TikTok or whatever else we want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Maayan Gordon, and I am an influencer now, a business owner. I have my own glass blowing business. I'm also starting up my own consulting business, helping people with their social media and just digital marketing strategy. And that's because I've been operating as a digital marketer with my own businesses for about 10 years now. And through that, have learned an incredible amount, not only on how to grow a business kind of from the ground up to being profitable and successful, but also just how powerful a tool social media can be for developing brand awareness and then like very, very deep customer loyalty, to the point where it's no longer about the product or the service you're selling, but it's about supporting your brand and your business. So in the past, 9 months is when I've really kind of been building a lot of momentum through my success on TikTok, where I have my main glass blowing account that's at 1.7 million, and then I have a second account that's in the food category that's at 600,000 followers now as well. So just that journey has been keeping me very, very busy. I've been learning tons of new things along the way, and also meeting just incredible people, like yourself, and many others.
I'm nobody. I only have 22,000 followers on LinkedIn. I'm so happy you're even talking to me.
Everybody's a somebody. I've learned amazing lessons from every single person that I interact with. I think mainly because, my profession is understanding how people think. That's all that marketing is. It's understanding, one, how people think, and then two, how to communicate to them in the way that you want. So like every interaction I have with someone, I learn something about communication.
Quick side note. So like I mentioned to you before you were joining, since I didn't know if you were joining or not, I open up for other people to join. So Brenda Miller might join. She's like a LinkedIn expert. She has about 29,000 followers. So she said, I'm going to put some makeup and join. So I'm happy because for the first time, I'm going to try 3 people. So I hope you don't mind if somebody else joins. I'm sure you're cool.
That's awesome.
Cool. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be even more interesting. So I mentioned about how I feel old about TikTok. I mean, I am super curious to know how old you are, but I'm okay if you don't want to say.
I'm 28, young and
28.
old.
Okay, so like I almost feel like a little bit of hope. If you would have told me like I'm 18, I'm like, oh god,
I'm not quite as young as I look. I definitely have the baby face.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very blessed for that. I think it's a blessing to be youthful in any regards. And I hope I stay young forever. I know it won't happen, but
no. And by the way, I know like I've been to Washington State many times because I used to work in Nokia and a quick stint in Microsoft after they acquired us. So I came to Seattle many times, and so it was like I know your state. I know a little bit about where you're from. So it's yeah. And how's it there? Quick side note on COVID. How's the COVID situation? Have you been in lockdown now for a while, or what's the situation?
Yeah, so I'm over in Spokane, so I'm not. Seattle is a bit more lockdown situation because there's more cases over there, and then it's just also more dense of a populated city. Spokane's pretty spread out in terms of how the population, where the housing is. So luckily, it's not that bad. There's not that many cases, but we are all on like a lockdown order until May 4th. So planning to. Still be inside for a while.
Since when have you been on lockdown?
A week and a half. A week and a half, 1 to 2 weeks. So
like past. I'm almost a month. Almost so in 3 days it'll be a month. Yeah, here in Italy. But I'm super lucky because I'm in my great grandparents' home, so I got stuck in the right place. It's a huge place, and I was coming here with my grandparents all the time, so I'm like super blessed to be here. Okay, let's go back to our main topic, to TikTok, because I mean, I'm gonna start asking some really stupid questions, but you know, it's been also the other thing is that of course, I have about 200 apps, and so for me to get into a new app, it's always like takes so much effort. But is it so that TikTok only works on one device, kind of Snapchat? Because the first time I use it, it looks like it logged me out. If I have it open on two devices, I get logged out from the.
I've not tried to have it open on like the same account on two devices.
Oh, you haven't tried?
I haven't tried that. Yeah.
Okay. Because for us also, like in terms, when you help other influencers, of course, if with those platforms where we cannot be logged in at the same time, it's so much harder,
Right.
Of course, you just basically can't go in, so
yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll find out about that, and then well, I guess for people, let's maybe like explain it again for people that like kind of like me still haven't gotten into it, right? And maybe I'll try and then you'll correct me. So it's very focused on this like super short, super fun type of videos that loop with music added. I mean, it was basically what people might have seen as the old Musical.ly, right? Musical.ly, however you call it, and then just was rebranded into TikTok. Comes from China. It's been the most downloaded app for I think a couple of years in a row worldwide. I think something like that, top one or number two or number one or two. And yeah, it's just like where you're seeing the most growth in terms of social media and stuff. And that's what I know. Maybe you wanna like tell me what I got right, what I got wrong, and just keep adding on that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the gist of it. Even though it's confusing when you first download it, it's pretty much a very simple app. There's very limited features. There's, you can post videos, you can watch videos, you can comment and heart videos, and then you could share videos the same way you can on other platforms, and you can direct message people. That's pretty much the entirety of the app. There is a search page and search function, but it's really not what most people are using to watch videos because the home screen is an algorithm-fed feed. So you can just scroll through when you open up the app and scroll through videos and kind of get your entertainment that way.
Cool. And do you use it at all, or can you use it at all from web, or is it only app?
You can view videos on the web, but you can't post videos from the laptop or like from the web.
Yeah. And so let me ask, and I actually was then Googling about you, how you've been writing about like quick topics and advice, but I realize these days they're like so bored to read that whenever they can just listen to or tune in, they rather listen to it. So maybe you can, I know you wrote it a million times, but maybe go again and like, some of your top advice, maybe want to split it. Maybe want to first focus on influencers and then maybe look at like people who are just joining, because I think we're a bit more focused on influencers first.
Cool. Yeah. So first, for influencers who, let's say, already have like a good following going, I would definitely say, figure out, if you can, a type of series. I think series are really powerful, not only to build new followers and get them involved kind of quickly, but all of your current followers will really like get excited for whatever the series is. So, whether that's you, let's say, doing thrifting and like barter and buying and selling to build up to a certain amount of money where you have a goal that you're sharing with your audience, or whether it's something to do with, like, let's say you're a cooking channel, having some type of build up or series to some type of epic cooking event or cooking thing that you're doing. But I think series can be really great. That's one tip I have. Another is, I see a lot of influencers who have a really great following and they do videos that get a lot of views, but you could get even more views or make them even better if you added either some like interesting props or some great colors.
So I got to interrupt you for our other guest, Brenda. Welcome.
Hey.
Hello. Good to have you here. Very, very last minute, but
the
Brenda,
connection's a little bit buggy for me. Is it like that for you?
I only see you a little. Yeah, I see Maayan fine. Maayan, do you see me fine? Hopefully,
Yep.
And Brenda, yeah, it's a little bit maybe check your Wi-Fi. Maayan is giving like top advice for TikTok influencers. She has 1.7 million followers there on TikTok. So I mean, I'm like clueless about it, so I'm just gonna like listen into her. So maybe we can like let her continue, and then you'll jump in, you know, and we'll jump in.
Yeah, so
Cool.
one other major tip that I think is really, really great, especially for TikTok, is to start doing lives. If you can, do daily live videos, because that really gives your audience a chance to like talk to you. You know, again, the messaging feature on TikTok is very limited because it's a double opt-in where you have to follow the person and they have to follow you back. But on the lives, you can, you know, just verbally talk and respond to people's comments. So that's a really great way. Also, you can promote things in a really non-advertising type of way. Like for example, if you were going to promote any type of clothing or t-shirt, instead of being like, hey, check out this shirt, you could, you know, just kind of be like, I love this shirt so much, you guys. Oh my God, I just got it. It's new. It's so comfy. I love the design. Like, that's super easy. It's really authentic. It is a great way to connect and start getting feedback and interaction from your audience, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I love this shirt too. Or they'll be like, oh, I've got a similar shirt that's got, you know, rainbows on it, and yours has unicorns, and whatever it is. So I think live videos are incredibly, incredibly valuable. Those are kind of like my top three. The others, just consistency. What's going to happen is you're going to have these lulls. So you're going to have periods of time where like your videos are crushing it and they're getting millions of views. And then after that, all of a sudden it's going to be like 10,000 views on a video and like 50,000, and you're going to get really frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Just realize that's part of how TikTok works. It's very sensitive in terms of choosing what videos are going to be popular and not popular. So just stay super consistent even when your views are not doing as well as you'd like them to.
By the way, quick question, and Brenda, I muted you, but feel free to unmute yourself anytime. I think you should be able to. Let me know if you cannot. Just give me put your hands up if you cannot unmute yourself. Okay, cool. Maayan, I was trying to look for you right now on TikTok, and I couldn't find you. What's your username?
It's World of Glass.
Okay, yeah, I saw some articles about that. And so you're doing like kind of like the Murano technique.
So yeah, those
like that.
Of the soft glass videos are of other artists. I do a borosilicate, which is, it's not referred to as hard glass, but it hardens much more quickly. Soft glass, it's got a coefficient of expansion that's 104, which means that it stays molten and pliable for a much longer time, versus borosilicate is COE, coefficient of expansion, 33. So it's hardening kind of and cooling much more quickly. So I do all my work directly in a flame, versus when they take it out of the furnace and then it's hot enough for them to do all sorts of different things too.
Okay, cool. I was just looking at it finally. I mean, it looks super cool. World of Glass now have 1.7 million and 1 followers. So have a new follower. And Brenda, I'll unmute you just in case, you know, if you want to check out. I now see you well, so I think you can. We're probably going to hear you well as well, hopefully.
Yeah, I think the connection was fixed. So when I joined, it was telling me to go join through YouTube or Facebook for a secure connection. Okay. And I joined through YouTube the first time and it was all wonky, and then I exited and came back through Facebook. So we're good. So thanks for
cool.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. No, yeah, this is like I think I already explained Maayan what happened, and everybody knows. But basically, like she couldn't let me know. It was like she was not coming on time, so I said let me go live anyways. Didn't want to have like this empty black screen for people, and I was gonna just do an MAA, ask me anything, and then so you joined, and then so I know you're more focused on LinkedIn. What's been your experience with TikTok? Did you try it at all, or not really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been listening to or watching, I should say, the TikTok videos, and when I saw Maayan was on here, I was like, oh, I told my son, I'm like, he's upstairs, he's a 15-year-old, and I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and they're into the whole TikTok because they're kids, you know, and I was joking with them like a month ago, because what I do is mainly LinkedIn, but I do some social media management. I'm active on all the platforms, and I have a Snapchat, but I don't really use it like my daughter does it to get little funny filter pictures, and it's only close friends. But I was joking with my daughter about a month ago. I'm like, I think I'm going to set up a TikTok and we're going to do these little dances together and stuff. And of course, my son is mortified. Like, you can't go on TikTok, Mom. So I was like, I just told him, I ran upstairs and I said, hey, I'm going to be on LinkedIn Live in a second with some folks that are talking about TikTok. And I said, you should come in the room. So I don't know if he's going to come in here or not. No,
Sure.
I'm an admirer from the sidelines, I guess, like when it comes to, you know, and I'm 45, full disclosure. So I'm out of the group of the Snapchat, and my target audience isn't really on Snapchat. But I kind of feel like as a marketer, I'm admiring TikTok from the sidelines, and I'm getting to the point now where I think it's starting to reach a critical mass of people that are doing TikToks just for fun and for marketing purposes. So, you know, I'm kind of curious from you, Maayan, you know, if I wanted to get started, and I put a little here, if I wanted to get started, how do I get started? Is it just through the phone? Is it just jumping on the app and jumping in? I mean, I'm pretty open, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads into the second part of your question, which was for beginners, what are the best tips for getting started? So I really think that for some people, they just need to get started because they have the barrier of like just the action. They're having trouble taking the action. Other people, it's really, they just don't know what to post. Like they don't have a trouble posting, but they have to feel some form of confidence about what it is they're posting. And so I think for people that need that kind of confidence, it's really great to do a 3-part strategy where one, you're doing research, which is, let's say, just 5 to 10 minutes of looking through the videos it's showing on the For You page, which is the home screen, the algorithm side of it versus the following side of it. And just taking notes on like what you notice, because it's only going to really be showing you videos that are very popular on the For You page. And so just writing down, oh, wow, I noticed that video like had a surprise at the end, or I noticed that video was really, really short. Or like I noticed that video, you know, had a really bright color that caught my eye. But just writing down all these things that you notice within these 10 to 15 second videos is going to give you a good idea if there's any patterns that then you can apply to your videos to start giving you at least some idea of like what a TikTok video is versus what an Instagram or a Facebook video is. The second step, I think, is to brainstorm. So brainstorming like video visual ideas. So whether that's, you know, I'm going to have my dog in a video, or I'm going to do a video of me dancing, or I want to do a video of, you know, cooking, but like thinking of the actual things in your life that you're doing or in your business that you're doing that could make a good 10 or 15 second video. Because it's harder if you're not well practiced to come up with it in the moment versus if you're just thinking about like while you're sitting on the couch, the things you do in a day. That's almost like a third person view that you're psychologically having of yourself, to envision, okay, yeah, I go to the kitchen and I cook. Like you're picturing that a little bit. And so that can help you understand if that would be a good video or not, versus when you're standing in the kitchen to think, is this going to be a good video if I'm filming myself now, is a little bit harder, I think, to visualize for a lot of people. And then that third step is really just structuring like videos. So like picking, you know, some of the patterns that you're seeing in your note section and pairing it with some of those visual ideas to see, okay, does this sound like it would be at least a good idea to try? And then it's just a game of experiment and analyze and repeat. So then you just put a video out there. I think, you know, getting started as soon as possible is a really good idea, even if you don't feel super confident about your strategy or the video that you're going to post. The level of feedback that you're going to get is going to be really valuable to you, where you're going to either get very low to no views, let's say, you know, a couple hundred or less views. And what that means is it, in general, wasn't a good video, and that all the parts of it kind of need work. What happens is if right away, though, you start getting a video that does, let's say, 1,000 to 10,000 views, that means you already nailed some element in the video to some degree. And that should be relatively easy for you to identify based on how many hearts it got, how many share, like analyzing literally all the metrics to understand what the human behavior was behind those metrics. For example, the more hearts a video has, you know that it was a satisfying video or a video that made them feel like supporting you because they got something out of the video. Like that's how we respond in terms of hearting videos. We go, oh, awesome, it gave me something, maybe a good feeling. Maybe it's supporting a cause I support, so like I'm going to support it back. So like that, again, compared with shares, like understanding, okay, this video got a lot more shares. So like people wanted to show it to someone, like what's the reason that people wanted to show this video to someone else? Did it have a piece of information that they were like, ooh, I'm going to seem smart if I share this? Or was it funny and they wanted to like make their friend laugh? Like what is it? And so you can start to analyze things really, really quickly through TikTok because it's so responsive in different ways. So my suggestion is like really, if you feel comfortable and you can push yourself to post videos right away, do it. Even if it's of your dog doing something funny, as long as you think like this could be a good video, post it and you'll get some feedback and then you can immediately start like improving.
Awesome. And I want to say, like, you're super well spoken, you know, it's so clear. I love the way you communicate. It's just super clear. Like, and you make me want to go into it, like, even though like it's been a long journey. And I think I only have 4 videos and 0 followers and 3 likes, and I'm following 8 people. So that's my current status on TikTok. But
start at 0, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. 1 is better than 0. 1 is bigger than 0. So I have a couple of I have 4 specific questions. So, and of course, Brenda, if you want to go with any questions, feel free to jump in anytime. I saw somewhere that you can do groups, like, so TikTok influencers or something can do groups. Did I read that right?
The app or like off the app?
I think it's pretty much in the app, but I'm not so sure.
So you can do something called a duet, which is where you're kind of like responding to someone's video through a video. So it'll split the screen and their video is on one side and then you're creating like a matching or corresponding video on the other side. But I haven't necessarily seen any type of format where there's video of more than 2 creators. Now there are lots of like group you know, there's like stuff called like Hype House, if anyone's familiar with that. Where like
okay, that's exactly where I saw that. I thought they had a group account, but it's just a shared account. It's just a normal account shared by more people.
Yeah. So what that is typically all of the people in the Hype House or in the group have their own individual accounts, and then they will also have like a group account so that they're all appearing on. And the structure of that is just to basically amplify the promotion and the like the cross promotion and the boosting through the algorithm that you can get from any type of like bonus points, so to speak, on engagement from big creators. So and no one knows 100% how the algorithm works on TikTok or what factors contribute more than other factors. But for example, on other apps like Instagram, if someone who has a really large following likes or comments on your picture, now your picture can show up in the Discover page for all of their followers. And so that's a way to get like a lot more exposure very quickly. And so that's the idea behind why people are doing that essentially on any platform. That's why, you know, people do LinkedIn pods, right? Is like to try and get boost of engagement through the algorithm.
Awesome. And I'm sure you must have been like, that's such a stupid question, but like I told you, we're at the low level, like, and I shared the link to Hype House with the other people, you know, because I basically what it is, if I understood right, it's just a mansion where a bunch of kids in LA, they put themselves together to create content. And actually, a lot of our influencers, we grew a lot in Mexico, where we have about more than 10 influencers, and overall, there are more than 6 million followers in total, 6-7 million followers in total. So we were saying like, let's do the same thing. But now, of course, with COVID, we're, you know, don't want to put everyone together in the same place. So we're actually thinking about like something completely online and maybe even like with a bit of a education of school for like remote work. So we're still like brainstorming. But, you know, now at least I know that it's just going to be like create a new account. So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
Brenda, maybe you want to jump in with any question Maayan, go first, and then Brenda, if you want to ask any question.
Those can either be like an amazing idea or a horrible disaster based on if like you can get, you know, 6 teenagers to get along with each other, you know, 6 young adults to all get along, and how long can you get them to get along for? So I think it can be amazing for creating and like content that sparks everyone's creativity, but also there's the room for the drama.
Yeah, no, exactly. I already read about that as well, and I was afraid as well to like have to do that from remote. But yeah, I think we're gonna go to do something completely online. Still wanna kind of try to, we've seen a lot of fundraising going on to try to address COVID, as far as vaccines or like, just charity. What I've seen missing, where I think we wanna jump in, is to actually create the right courses that are, and I think you'd be a fantastic professor for Tik-Tok. The right courses to do online jobs, right? To get your first online money, because I think that's still missing. Brenda, if you want to jump in, feel free. I think you can unmute yourself to jump in anytime. I still have 3 more questions, but unless anybody wants to go, I'll continue. I saw, what are the coins? Can you like give coins to content that you like, or what do you use that for?
Yeah, so the coins and the gifts. So you use all of these social media platforms, not all of them, a lot of the social media platforms, especially live streaming. This is really particular live streaming. So it only applies to the live streaming feature of TikTok, but they all have gift systems. So you buy coins, you use coins to send gifts that are different coin values, and then the creator gets those converted into diamonds just so they can keep track of the different, in and out. And then the creator can cash out diamonds for, dollars, so to speak, direct into your PayPal account. So if you're a creator and you want to get coins or gifts, you have to be doing live videos, which is another reason to do those. Some creators make a lot of money doing that. Others, don't care about it at all. So
I have a couple questions for you, Maayan. So, is someone who's just getting started on TikTok, and I'm only apprehensive to the fact that I don't really care if I don't feel like I'm going to embarrass myself by going out there. And actually, I would love to embarrass my children by going out with some videos that would mortify them. I don't really care about that. But like, I'm poking around your LinkedIn profile right now, Maayan, right? But Vincent, we got to like do what we can because the kids drive us crazy. But do you have anything, in terms of resource guides or kind of like best practices for when you're getting started? And again, it's not from a place like I'm not worried about embarrassing myself and doing things wrong. I don't make mistakes. I have learning experiences, and I'm more than willing to share them. But and I don't even care if they're cheesy. Like whatever. I got people who follow me. They're gonna think they're kind of fun to just to start something new. But do you have anything like resources on your website, Maayan? Or I could just do a YouTube or a Google search getting started on TikTok. But do you have any suggestions there?
Yeah, so I have been working over the past month really hard on my website, which is completely geared towards helping people succeed on TikTok, from beginner level all the way up to more advanced level. There's a whole, if I was on the website, where I would start would be the TikTok tip video series, because that really takes through each video is like a couple concrete, really actionable tips or kind of things that you can think about that'll help make any video that you're trying to create better, like for TikTok, and do well on the platform. And then also, I think listening to that series, let's say, at least a couple videos at a time, is really going to get your brain starting to understand, okay, this is how the system works. And like, this is the environment that people are participating in when they're on TikTok. Outside of that, I think that the best way to understand how to get started is really just by looking at other people's accounts. I think it's cool to get instructions on how to do things, but for you to really understand like what is going to make a good video, or why are some videos good when other videos don't perform well at all, that really comes from your own personal observation, because each of us is actually very, very adept and skilled at picking up on like human qualities and on all these little subtleties. Like, we've been doing it our whole lives, right? When we meet people, when we, watch movies, like we do so much observation that you'll be able to very quickly, if you tell yourself to, and you put yourself in a mind state of like, I'm analyzing, that you'll be able to pick up like, okay, here are the key points that I need to apply to my video idea that are going to make it really successful. So I would do research in 2 different ways. One, directly in whatever category that is the category of content you're going to post in. So what category of content are you going to be posting in, Brenda, do you think?
So my background is marketing, and my area of specialty is LinkedIn strategy coaching. So I really see this as, I mean, what I understand TikTok to be is a music platform, right? It's music and videos. Am I understanding that correctly?
Can be. That's not all it
Yeah.
is. Like there's a giant, I would say, education section. There's quite a lot of videos that are around, I would say, just where people's attention is, especially young people. So there's a whole category of like how to make money online, or let's say, educating people about money in general. So those videos tend to not have as much music because someone's talking. Same thing with, I would say, even a lot of the dancing content creators. They'll have a significant amount of content where there's no music and they're just talking. I think that's something really interesting and unique to think about. Okay, it's not just a platform for entertainment. It's also a platform for like finding your tribe, so to speak, or the people, the leaders of the tribes that you want to be a part of. And so I think that's something to pay attention to. How are people accomplishing that in their videos? Because that's what's going to allow you to not just have followers that are numbers, but have followers that are going to like take action based on whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do.
Okay. So I kind of see it as TikTok is just like, I feel like it's, like I said, it's getting more generally accepted, and I'm seeing it more and more. And it's not just like, oh, it's a Snapchat, I don't need to participate in, or I need to have an account just to reserve my name so nobody grabs it. But I see it as like a flavor of extending my personal brand, if you will. And I'm not looking at, I feel like I have a really strong presence on LinkedIn, and I'm not looking at like doing that same presence necessarily on TikTok, but I think I could use it to help flavor some of my marketing and what I'm doing in other places, and to show a little bit of my personality and have a little bit of fun with it. But I don't want to necessarily, jump in and dedicate all my time to learning TikTok. I just want to like be enough to be knowledgeable to use it as needed to supplement what I'm doing from a marketing perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that especially if you don't want to spend a lot of time of it, that's really just going to come from like action. So just like start posting videos, see what happens. Whatever your idea is, like just go with that idea. And then if you liked how it came out, then you can kind of repeat and try and improve. If you thought, that really wasn't like what I was going for, then you can just move on to a new idea.
What I love about it, having a third person join on the live, is that I can just like take it easy, and let the other people do the work. So that was awesome, especially because it's a Sunday. All right. So yeah, thanks for the question. I was also interested in hearing. Okay, so I got the coin stuff.
Vincenzo and Maayan, I'm actually going to step out. I'm just going to watch you guys. If that's okay, I'll let you continue your conversation. But thank you so much.
Damn.
I really appreciate it.
Now I have to put all the work in, Brenda. I was just talking about that.
Sorry. Thank you guys.
It's cool. Thanks for joining, and we'll do a separate live about LinkedIn soon. Looking forward to that.
Take care.
Take care. So, all right, that was great. So now I have more work to do. I was almost gonna like. So no, I looked at the coin. So basically, it looks like also the other features that if you share your specific invite link, you get 20,000 rubies, I guess. And if your friend remains active for 5 days, you get 6,000 rubies or something like that. And then you convert those into gems. This is about inviting other people.
Reward for a referral program, yeah.
Yeah. What do you know what off the top of your head what that equals to in dollars or no?
No. I'd have to look it up on
worries.
Or it's a very small amount.
Yeah. Okay. And then I saw there's also a part about TikTok testers to try the test app. I've seen also Skype doing this. Are you enrolled in the testers, or you try to stay on the live version so you don't have any crashes and stuff like that?
No, so that just what that means is I am signed up for that. Basically, at random points, you could possibly get an email saying, "Hey, we've got a new feature. If you're still interested, you can get early access to a feature." So it usually doesn't, I think, require an update of the app. I think it's just
the joining of the program. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't had that happen to me yet. So I don't.
So no, it's been stable basically. No big crashes. They just try out new features.
Yeah, I haven't experienced any crashes the way that like Instagram has, crashed.
Yeah. Yeah, have you found more crushes on Instagram? Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely more. I think Instagram has been the one where I've had the most crashes across any social media platform. But on TikTok, sometimes the analytics won't populate 100% properly one day, but then usually the next day it's like fixed. So it's amazing how non-glitchy it is, honestly, because they add new stuff to it all the time.
Yeah, I've also noticed that. Yeah, it's definitely working really well. And then, how many accounts can you have in one app? I noticed that they have a feature to allow more accounts in one app.
3.
3 max.
Yep. You can have 3 that you can switch between on like one phone, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Cool, perfect. Okay, so I mean, unless you have anything specific to say about TikTok, right? Like anything major you want other people to kind of, know. I have a couple of questions about, what you feel about what these so-called influencer accelerators, right? This kind of groups of influencers that kind of try to accelerate themselves. So, unless you have anything specific to about TikTok, maybe we can go a bit wider on the influencer ecosystem.
Yeah, no, I think we covered a good amount. It's a ever-changing ecosystem of what works and what doesn't work. That's why I really think the best way for anyone to be successful is to just get started, start testing things out, just analyze the things that you're posting, and that's going to give you the best recipe for success in moving forward and making progress.
No, that's true really with anything in life. Like, this is like my 5th or 6th live, and it's amazing like how much I've learned, and how cool I was today about going on solo and 3 people ended up joining and just tested anyways. So going a bit wider, basically I like I mentioned, I read this book that is about digital marketing in China. And I was impressed about how in China, basically, I don't know if you know, they have these accelerators of influencers where they have 50 or 100 up to 1,000 influencers, and they just help them accelerate, which I think it's a genius. I think it makes more sense, even though a lot of people are bashing influencers all the time. I actually think it's a more predictable business model than startups, because startups are all like, a startup is actually a company trying to find its business model. Influencer, more or less, you have more or less have the same business model for everything. They're more of a they're more billboards and more of kind of a marketing channel, and just much more predictable, if you will. So I thought that made a lot of sense, and that's actually like kind of what we've been building basically. But basically, what are your thoughts around those? What do you know about them? We'll love to hear your insights.
I think my thoughts on that is that's a great fit for a lot of people. It's not a good fit for others. And I would say, with everything that you pursue in business, there is a positive side and upside, and there's a downside. So I think the upside is clearly that you have speed. That you're going to get to higher numbers faster. I think the downside could be that you lose some amount of individualism or learning. So for me, I'm very much someone who the knowledge and the learning is incredibly valuable, or more valuable to me than the result even sometimes, and especially because I'm so young. So for me, I'd rather learn how to reach those numbers on my own without the, not cheat, but the let's say the catalyst that an accelerator is. I'd rather know how to tap into whatever like personality trait that it is I have to tap into, or learn whatever skill set that I don't have that I might need to have, but figure out what are the key elements that make any individual influencer successful, because to me that's more important than just having the big numbers. It's like, how do you use those numbers? How do you get those numbers on your own? But to someone else who, let's say, doesn't have their own business, who maybe they're a younger kid, and all they, what they care about and what they're focused on is really getting those numbers so that they can have something to leverage to do other things that they're interested in, that could be amazing for them. I'm already doing the other things that I'm interested in, so I don't necessarily need the speed to get the numbers. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to have the numbers that I have, but I think I'd still be able to be successfully doing what I'm doing now without having as great of those numbers.
Amazing, love it. And I'm just gonna say one more thing about this, because obviously I don't want to sound like I'm trying to convince you of anything or try to sell anything, but you know, because anyways, it's more. I mean, I'm more at really advising this team, and I'm doing it's like 10 to 20% of my time. It's like the Google 20% time off. It's just so that because I'm more of a geek, so I prefer to build software. Actually, I don't know if I showed you what we're building. I actually do want to show you, so at least you know what I'm doing right now. So being really focused on SaaS, you know, on software as a service. So basically the last we've built, it's called Share Doc View. So it's basically a way to, you can upload your PDF documents in here, and then you can share them so you can get analytics and email leads. So you can sign up for free. You know, there's also a free tier. You just upload a document and you share your links. Key thing is that basically you're getting analytics, right? You know exactly how many people viewed which page and stuff like that. So really I'm focused more on this kind of like productivity SaaS, but then like it's been fun to also just take some time off, you know, with a little bit more light, and you know, talk to influencers and coach ladies, get them into the more professional space of managing these influencers, get them on, you know, I've been writing a lot of how to do this, how to do that. So it's been a lot of fun also because, you know, tech industry is so male dominated and I hate that. And then influencer industry is a lot more female dominated actually, and I love it, but maybe I still need the tech. So now I'm still trying to, so, but anyways, about us, we actually, the way we did it is that people like the influencers still post whatever they want. We are basically, you know, at most we give some little advice, but basically they are a content creator, that's what they know. At most we say just post more, like you, like I read in an article of yours that you were saying like post 2-3 times a day. We're more of a push to do more versus do this or that. So each person keeps its own individualism. I mean, it also makes sense, you know, like we just grabbed the idea. We didn't really grab the whole like A to Z from China. It also have a different culture. And so, and basically what we've been focused on is, you know, how do we help them monetize, which is then my question to you, like, how have you been monetizing so far as an influencer?
Yeah, absolutely. So one way is through paid music promotion. I think especially as like someone in your position could form some great relationships with different labels or you know, groups of artists to have really consistent work through that. Another one is obviously different brand and, you know, sponsorship deals with different companies, and that's, you know, I think there's a lot of agencies right now that focus on kind of that side of it. And then another way is through kind of the gifts and the coins. That's not something I typically focus on, but again, it is a way. There are a significant number of creators who make a lot of money doing, you know, live streaming, so to speak. Another one's through selling products. So if the influencer has anything from, you know, t-shirts with their logo or name on them to, let's say they're an artist like me where I create my own product, that's, you know, selling that product is a great way to make money as well.
Awesome,
you know,
thanks.
Courses, digital products and things like that.
You were saying about digital products. Sorry, what exactly?
Oh, so there's e-courses, there's you know, ebooks, there's membership websites. I think those are all great things depending on, you know, what level of experience the influencer has or what it is that they're sharing through that e-course or ebook or whatever it is.
Exactly, yeah. So what we've definitely been focusing a lot on digital content, just because we think it's the easiest thing to get started, both was for us and for them. Now we're getting into drop shipping and e-commerce because that's actually what the Chinese have been really focused on. We didn't really do so much yet of merchandising. I don't believe the opportunity is as big. I think it's more of the influencer feeling like, oh my God, everybody's gonna buy my t-shirt with whatever, like Vince the Geek, and like, who cares about Vince the Geek? I mean, like, it's easy to make an example of myself, of course. Okay, cool, yeah. So I believe also, like, I think the model of being focused on brands is a little bit like more the old school model where maybe, are you familiar by the way with Chiara Ferragni? I'll send you that link. It's interesting. She's there's a Harvard business case about her. She's the #1 fashion influencer. I don't know how well she's doing right now, to be honest, but you know, she did do very well for a while, and she was all about like other brands. Then she started selling her own products. I think then she did even better. You know, she has some 16 million followers on Instagram, and maybe now even more. But basically, you know, the whole thing is that even she realized, like, if I promote another brand, usually they give me like a fixed amount and that's it. You know,
Right.
there's fewer brands that pay you a fix plus a revenue share, and even then that revenue share will never be as high as if you're selling your own products.
Right.
And so now with drop shipping, you know, it's still possible. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And yeah, so I think I agree with so what are you mainly focused on from your side? Are you focused more on music or brands?
So, again, luckily, what I'm mainly focused on is building up my consultation business. I would say
courses.
So yeah, I'm lucky that this is influencer marketing, or being an influencer is one of maybe 4 of the different kind of business things that I'm doing. And so how much time I'm putting into that, I would say, has crossover between my consulting and the other parts of what I'm doing. So if something makes sense to where I'm going to increase my ability to deliver consultation through understanding the influencer marketing dynamic and process, and actually having proven results, that increases my my value to everyone that I work with. So luckily, I don't have to take anything in one particular area. Like I never have to take a brand partnership. I never have to, you know, take a specific artist's music deal just for money. So usually I analyze things. Am I going to make money off this? And am I going to learn something or increase my value at the same time? So that's how I'm deciding where to put my focus. And that's really on a daily basis, because through kind of my success on LinkedIn, I'm getting to talk with and meet people doing all sorts of very, very interesting things in the digital and business space.
And so what are those 4 ways that you know, what are your 4 businesses, just for me to understand, just for everyone to understand?
So glass blowing is one. I would say that like, I don't know how you describe this, but like, I sell stuff. I sell stuff on like Facebook Marketplace. So just like, you know, like buying and sell, just arbitrage of, I know what a good deal is and I know what I can flip easily. So like right now I'm doing a lot of cards. So like Pokemon cards, baseball cards, comic books, those types of things. They do really, really well when people are stuck inside and bored. And so, you know, that's one of them. Another one is the consulting work that I do, which I have a membership website that falls kind of under that category, along with the influencing work that I do, which the membership website also kind of falls under that category as well.
Which website do you use for that? Which platform?
So the platform I use is called Pub Ninja, but my website is called TikTokinfluencing.com.
Okay. And then what's the 4th? Is there a 4th or?
No, influencing is its own thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's its own thing. The glass blowing, and then buying and selling goods.
Perfect. Maybe you want to add the link to TikTok influencing, and maybe there might be people like interested about that. So if I write TikTok influencing, what's the actual URL? Maybe you can also add it here on the chat.
It's TikTokinfluencing.com.
Okay, TikTok, that's easy. TikTokinfluencing.com. I just searched on Google, and couldn't find it right away, but obviously, and then it's Maayan. It defaults to maayan.pubninja.com. So
yeah,
cool. I will share it here in the comments so everybody gets it. If you want to check it out, feel free. Is it aimed at beginners or at advanced level of TikTokers?
It's supposed to be for all levels. I think that if you're a beginner, the place to start is the video tips section. If you're a little bit more advanced, you might want to look at either the guides or the case studies, or some of the like industry news and updates.
And how did you choose Pub Ninja? Did you compare it to any other platforms before going there, or how did you choose it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the major reasons that I chose it is that they don't charge a monthly cost. So that was important to me. They take 10% revenue from your subscriptions. And then also, because it's a newer platform, I have the ability to communicate directly with the developers, which I think puts me in a great position, again, not only to learn in terms of just like about app development, or not app development, but about platform development, but also be able to give my feedback and help make the platform better. And then just getting in on things early, I think has a lot of value. So being able to get in on this early incentivized me as well.
And what else? What else were you like weighting it against? Like, what were the other options before?
Other ones would be like Patreon, which I've tried out before and didn't like very much at all. And then also any of the paid ones like Teachable, Kajabi, any of the. There's a lot of different paid platforms that offer membership website build out.
What didn't you like about Patreon exactly?
I didn't like the layout or the ability how you could post different things. I mostly I would say didn't like the user function
UX.
or how it looked very much. And again, I didn't have the ability. So it's really I didn't have the ability to voice any of that or have ability to make changes, which versus with Pub Ninja, I can say, hey, I think this would be really, really important or valuable for you guys to add. And they get back to me and they're like, awesome, we think so too. We're going to add it to the list. So that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'm checking like more about, it looks like they have 156 followers on Instagram and 47 on Twitter. So it looks like they're in LA though.
Yeah, they're very new. They're like the way that the website looks now, I imagine is not how it's going to look in, let's say, 6 months after they're, because they have to implement changes one at a time to not kind of crash the system. I'm sure you understand much better than I do as a developer. But basically, they're working on one change at a time. They have a bunch of different ideas. Like at some point, I'm going to try and get them to add, I think they agreed to this already, a live streaming feature through the platform so that, it'll be a members only type of live streaming access. And you can do special, AMAs, Ask Me Anythings, or you could have special guests on that people could only see that kind of interview or conversation through a membership.
And what percentage do they take?
They take 10%.
Okay, 10%. So a little bit higher than Patreon, but yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. I mean, and by the way, what I was thinking that I want to say like about, you got some great leadership skills that, I think it's awesome what you're doing in terms of, your course, but I think there's definitely a lot of other influencers that like need that knowledge or drive and push and energy. So that's why I think like that, the model that we're taking still makes sense when when I'm looking at people like you. So just want to give you those props, it's like.
Absolutely. Again, I think that there's a lot of value in creating a supportive ecosystem, even, bringing influencers together so that they feel encouraged. That has a lot of value in it just by itself, outside of even if any of them were promoting each other, even if they were just getting together. And this is actually one of my tips in my video tips is find an accountability partner can be massive to your success on social media. And not only because someone's actually holding you accountable, but it's incredibly encouraging when you do something well and you have someone to tell about it and they're actually going to get excited for you. You're like, yo, I did a post today and it crushed it. And I actually, I beat my best post views. And they're like, what? That's awesome. And they're encouraging you. Like that's huge as a influencer creator.
Yeah, exactly. And then I know, feel free to say like, no, or I can't answer or whatever, but I'm wondering, like, are you using any tools to like automate or crawl TikTok or?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not. I don't believe that that's ever a good idea to do, because I think that having just pure numbers, it's just not valuable anymore the way it used to be, because all the brands and the businesses and everyone else has caught on that bots exist, that like you could have a bajillion followers and maybe not have any ability to convert sales or really have a power of influence. So I don't think just getting, numbers from people who like don't give a crap about what you're doing really helpful. So I avoid the temptation.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking about that. That kind of that low level of automating. But I've seen a bunch of people doing some basic automation, just of some stuff, just to because it does help increase.
I haven't been exposed to it yet.
Okay, cool. What about any websites or resources that you use where maybe you see top TikTokers or anything like that?
No, honestly, I don't really. The only thing I do to kind of keep up on TikTok is I do a lot of in-app research, and not a lot. I probably only spend 30 minutes maximum a day, where I'm looking at what's happening on the app. It's kind of I would say you can treat the app like it's an actual physical space. So think of it like the mall or a stadium. So I want to show up and walk around the stadium on a regular basis so I can see what's going on in the different groups of people. So I can have a good idea of not just what the small dynamics are and different things that are happening on a smaller scale, but what really the big picture is of what's happening on the app. Because the app is made up of a billion plus people, and in that billion plus people, there's many different groups of people, and the way that people interact through this app is in a group aspect and mentality. So when you find a creator that you are a big fan of, you become a part of their tribe, so to speak. You become a part of their fan base and their team. And now your team so-and-so, your team Maayan or Team World of Glass. And so it's important for anyone who really wants to have a good understanding of everything that's happening in the app to understand how all of these groups are either changing or staying the same, and how that, interaction between all of them exists, but also how they're interacting individually.
Awesome. I mean, to be honest, I'm fully satisfied from this interview. I could pause it here if you agree, and end it here for this first conversation. I do really hope to get back in touch with you and see if there's anything we could do within our influencers and you, and just anything else, right? I think.
Yeah. No, I'm certain there is. I'm certain there is. Let's definitely talk about that, because I do think there's actually a very low level of influencer collaboration right now compared to what there could be. And I'd love to explore with someone who's connected to a lot of influencers. Also, anyone watching, if you work at an agency or you manage influencers, I'd love to talk to you about just different ideas. Let's just brainstorm back and forth. What are ways that influencers could collaborate more to really increase the level of success to a much higher degree than I think is being done right now?
Absolutely. I mean, when I think about some of our influencers in our group, that they are in Mexico, I mean, it's one of the best things you can do when you cross-share followers from US to Mexico and then Italy. And it's just it's usually win-win, but obviously, maybe if you're targeting the exact same demographics, it's some influencers do get into that, I think it's a trap of saying, oh my God, it's competing. I'm always I'm mind blown when I'm talking to an influencer. It's 2.3 million followers. I was actually talking to one of ours, and she was like, "Oh, she was concerned about her competition." I'm like, "Cool. Why are you thinking about the competition?" And actually, I was talking about how we could build a better Patreon, because for some of them we use it and we don't really like it actually.
Right.
But I'm like, we need a lot of influencers in order to be able to build some new technologies on our own,
right.
So that we can dedicate and pool resources and dedicate enough resources to it, because it's a huge, massive undertaking. So
yeah.
So thanks so much for this. Sorry for even changing the topic of the live, but then you managed to hop back in. We changed it back, and that's what I love. What's funny is that I'm Italian American. Only been American for about 2 years or so. But I think an Italian person would have been so mad that I already forgot about it and jump onto the next. But the American is like, oh, it's fine. I'm sorry, I was late, and we're back into the game. It's like no offense at all. So there's a lot of stuff I miss about US. So also thanks a lot for making me feel like I'm in US, again. And it's
for having me on. I love your Italian charm.
I try to keep a little bit of both. I try to keep, it's like a Roma jersey, but still a SD hat. I want to represent both.
Nice.
So yeah, thanks again for everything. You know, unless you wanna like leave any other links. I mean, with the last link we shared is your Pub Ninja, your TikTok.
You know, there and here on LinkedIn, those are the places I hang out the most. So feel free to send me a message, connect with me here on LinkedIn. I post a lot of content here as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm also sharing your LinkedIn account so they can also follow you here. And once again, thanks so much, and look forward to connect again.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.